Like most bands, they hit the road, but this wasn't a normal tour. In the morning, they'd perform to an audience of screaming girls in schools. And at night, it would be all change, a highly energised and enthusiastic workout in the gay clubs.
5 young men who all look fantastic, who all have great bodies, who all going to take their tops off and dance for you. Of course, it's going to appeal to a gay market as well as, you know, a heterosexual market. I think it was a very clever thing for them to do because they did get everything.
I always used to say to the boys, it's like being an Olympic athlete. You've got to show that amount of dedication to the job.
Although some of what they got up to on tour is yet to be recognised as an Olympic sport. Howard?
He admitted to Q magazine that him and Robbie had had a group wank to see who could first. Oh, it was the grottiest thing you've ever heard of. But even grottier, Mark Owen sat there and watched.
Being honest Northerners, they were used to hard graft. No one more so than Gary, who had completed one of life's toughest apprenticeships. The Northern Club Circuit.
Right, this is the concert room where Gary used to play. Quite a plush place.
Here at the Runcorn British Legion, Gary played 4 nights a week, supporting acts including Ken Dodd and the North West's Mr Showbiz, Chris Harrison.
And I'll show you exactly where Gary used to do his job. This is the actual stage. Gary used to have a DX7 keyboard on top of his big Yamaha, so he used to dually play it. Very, very gifted he was.
Everybody who's been near Gary, and even people who've not been near to Gary, are very, very proud of him.
Playing the Legion meant Gary had money, and it gave him his first taste of the rock and roll lifestyle.
You know, he always had enough money to buy me a pint of lager and himself a Coke. He used to like bacon fries as well, I always remember that. Packets of bacon fries. This was his domain. This was his domain.
Gary had gone from light ale to fizzy pop. Take that, we're heading for the big time. Everything was in place. The look, the personalities, the fans. There was just one problem: the music.
Radio wouldn't touch it.
And of course, major labels are only interested in you if you sell records.
The record label said, right, we're going to do one more single and then we're going to drop them.
They desperately needed a hit. Producer Nigel Wright had to come up with a song to save their pert little arses.
If it had worked, they stayed on. If it hadn't, there wouldn't have been a Take That. But I didn't know that pressure at that time. If I think about it now, it's like, oh. It only takes a minute, girl.
They were saved by the sound of the 70s.
I just heard a record that I thought, oh, it's a great hook. And then suddenly I went, oh, it's a great hook. Take That, that's a good hook, let's try the two together. And that's all that happened. And it was just a chance.
Finally, after all the hard work, they had their top 10 hit. And in all the excitement, Gary forgot to wear his shirt when they finally made it onto Top of the Pops. But it wasn't just the music. Their personalities and camaraderie made them popular.
It wasn't you by that, was it? You know that's the longest he's kept his mouth shut.
It was the chemistry that they've got which really set them apart from any other boy band or girl band. They all got on. It was like watching a bunch of mates having a laugh.
Thanks to all these boys for being my best friends.
I kind of believed the chemistry. I believed their friendship. And they just make you feel happy. I don't see how people can't like them.
When they were interviewed, they were so funny, especially Robbie, who was always joking.
And Robbie would have everyone in stitches with his hilarious impressions.
It's what's on the inside and not on the outside. Beauty's only skin deep, ladies and gentlemen.
No, we've no idea who he's supposed to be either.
I always knew that they would be successful, and I always knew that if I could put them in front of a huge audience, it would work. I didn't know that it would be as big as it became.
I'd never seen anything like that. Never.
The world went Take That mad. Well, every female between the age of 10 and 15 did anyway. The Take That popularity equation was simple. 5 members meant 5 times the amount of fans, because everyone had their favourite.
Each boy was very different. You've got to start with Gary Barlow.
You'd got Gary, who was the talented songwriter-singer.
He was the slightly chubby, less attractive, non-dancer.
Mark, who was the cute one, was quite petite. The girls all fancied him.
The girls really fancied Mark. You're either a Mark fan or a Robbie fan. I was a Robbie at the time.
I just kind of want to pick Mark up and put him on my mantelpiece. Not that I have one, but if I did, that's what I'd like to do.
I think a lot of the older ladies liked Howard, and he's got a fantastic body.
They're a great turn on. They are. For us mature audience, they are. Got a nice body. He's got a 6 spec. He's got a nipple ring.
They were very sexual. And, you know, 14-year-olds really, I don't think, kind of got that.
And they're so sexy, it's unbelievable.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
10.
It was that snowball. You could see each time we did anything, there was more hysteria, there were more girls around, there was more press joining in.
I schlepped all across the country to see Take That, never met them, hung out here, and my poor dad driving us round, us girls, gaggle of girls in the back of the car, screaming.
It was proper Beatlemania hysteria. It was terrifying. And you'd have to get the police in because there would be literally thousands of kids would turn up. Seeing it sort of really in your face like that was incredible and scary at the same time, because the power of those, you know, young girls going mental was incredible. The noise that those screams can make can literally blow out eardrums.
All the women in the country wanted them, but did they want the women? The videos suggested otherwise.
The public went, oh, there must be gays, you know, no birds in the video, and they're looking gorgeous, and they've come up through gay clubs. They're a band of puffs. I always used to say to the band, you don't have to explain all of that, because it creates a magic about them, it creates a mystery about them.
Being a little bit ambiguous meant they didn't alienate anybody. They just kind of appealed to the masses.
And this fanned the flames of teenage fantasies.
You never used to see lots of gorgeous girls in the videos, because if the fan's at home and she's 12 stone with spots, and there's her favourite with some gorgeous girl, she's going to think, I've got no chance, have I?
Well, there was one, but she was half tree.
I think girls like Take That because, you know, they're obviously good-looking guys, and also they're sort of guys that you could imagine marrying one day, you know, when you're not 7 years old anymore.
Me and Mark at our wedding. Aww.
The lads appeared to be young, free and single.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Oh.
No! So some fans thought they were in with a chance.
There were 2 groups of Take That fan, if you like. There were the girls outside who are happy to meet the boys, but then you had the other type of fan that could afford to stay in a hotel room, and they were something else. They were determined to get to the boys.
You know, there's a thin line between being a fan and being a stalker.
Take That completely took over my life. I definitely would say that I was addicted to Take That. I've done a lot of crazy things to meet Take That. I would basically do anything. I would make phone calls pretending I was somebody else.
It was like something from Spooks. How they knew where we were. We would change direction. We would change restaurants. We would change hotels at the last minute. When we arrived, they were always there.
I had information from lots of different sources. We had our ways of finding out which flights the guys were on. I was also became friends with Gary's chauffeur, oops, and I was getting information from Gary's chauffeur as to where Gary was going to be. At one stage of my life, I was seeing Gary, you know, 2 or 3 times a week. I don't think Gary was interested, but I think that I created that because he was so lovely to me, and so, you know, it was so wonderful.
The boys seemed happy to take advantage of their newfound star status.
I think it'd be fair to say Take That had a few good years with their fans. They were young lads, they enjoyed it.
That's what a manager says to us. He says, lads, you might have a lot of girls coming up to you now, good-looking girls, and they're only after you because of who you are. And I'm thinking, well, I don't care.
Rule number 1 for any Take That groupie was, don't forget your passport.
I was certainly saying to the security, you know, if she looks young, she's got to have ID, she's got to prove she's over 16, and all that. I was making sure the condoms were there and everything, but to the boys, they used to not know that I was aware of what was going on.